Little Johnny's sitting on the bus, and this priest comes and sits next to him. Little Johnny looks him up and down, and he says, "Mister, your collar's on backwards." The priest says, "I'm a father." Johnny says, "My daddy doesn't wear his collar backwards." The priest says, "I am the father of many." Little Johnny says, "Okay, well, my dad has 4 sons and 3 daughters." The priest is getting a little upset. He says, "I am the father of hundreds." Little Johnny smiles and says, "Okay, well, then maybe you should be wearing your pants on backwards instead of your collar." It was about a week before Christmas, and little Johnny's dad was tucking him into bed, and he says, "Little Johnny, if you don't quit your swearing, Santa's not going to bring you any presents." Little Johnny says, "Dad, I already know what I want, and I already know what I'm going to get. When I wake up in the morning, there's going to be a fucking football at the end of my bed. And when I walk downstairs, there's going to be a fucking train set going around the Christmas tree. And when I go outside, there is going to be a brand new fucking bike leaning up against the garage." His dad shakes his head, and little Johnny goes to sleep. And when he wakes up Christmas morning, there's a big old pile of crap at the end of his bed. And when he walks downstairs, there's a big old pile of crap underneath the Christmas tree. And when little Johnny went outside, there was a big old pile of shit leaning up against the garage. Johnny put his head down, and his dad says, "So, little Johnny, you were swearing, and how do you like your presents?" He said, "Dad, I'm pretty sure I got a fucking puppy. I just can't find it yet." Little Johnny goes up to his dad. He says, "Dad, I got some bad news. Lorraine broke up with me." He says, "Well, what happened? She was a really nice girl." He says, "Yeah, well, she found out that I was seeing Claire Lee on the side, and it just didn't work out, so she left me." His dad says, that's terrible. What were you doing?" He says, "Dad, I got it figured out. I can see clearly now. Lorraine is gone." It's so bad. Little Johnny and 2 of his friends had gotten into a real bad car accident on Christmas Eve and had died and gone up to heaven, up to St. Peter's gate. And St. Peter comes out and says, "Well, boys, it's kind of full, and the only way you're going to get in is if you show me something Christmassy." So Tony pulls a lighter out of his pocket. And St. Peter said, "What's that?" He says, "It's a candle." He says, "Okay, go on in." Well, Billy pulls out his keys out of his pocket, and St. Peter says, "What are those?" And he says, "They're bells." And he starts shaking them. He says, "Yeah, go ahead, go on in." Well, Johnny's like freaking out, and he reaches into his pocket, and he pulls out a pair of underwear. And St. Peter says, "What are those?" And little Johnny says, "They're carols."
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You remember last night when I went to that dinner party with Mom?
Yeah.
Well, they gave me some food that made my tummy hurt.
Oh.
Well, after a while, everyone was standing around, and I ended up farting. And Mom's boss looks me straight in the eyes and says, "Donnie, how dare you fart from my wife like that?" And I said, "I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know it was her turn."
Hey, honey.
Yeah.
Don't forget that tomorrow you have your yearly physical at the doctor.
Can we just reschedule it?
No, you don't get to just reschedule it. And don't forget, you have to provide a stool sample and a urine sample.
Oh, no. I'm not going to go shit in the bag.
No. I knew you were going to react like this. I was there today for my exam, so I left them a pair of your boxers.
It was very unfortunate that at the age of 55, little Johnny became a widower, and a couple of years go by, his daughter thinks it's about time that he gets back into the dating scene. So she's helping him create an online dating profile and ask the normal questions. What's your name, little Johnny? Your height, 4'10", your age, 57, your sex, male, and then what types of qualities or attributes would you like to have in your partner? And little Johnny said, COVID. His daughter says, what's wrong with you? Why would you wish that upon anybody? He said, no, I'd like her to be like COVID-19. She says, that's just as bad. Why? He says, well, I'd like her to be 19 and spreads easily. Little Johnny and his buddy Aiden were discussing what they were getting their wives for Christmas, and Aiden has a lot more money than little Johnny, and he says, I usually buy my wife 2 gifts, and this year I'm going to buy her a Lamborghini and a Ferrari. Little Johnny says, why 2 cars? He says, well, whatever one she likes we'll keep and we'll return the other. Little Johnny says, oh, I've never gotten little Susie 2 gifts before. He says, but I think I'm going to try it out this year. I'm going to get her a nightie and a sex toy. Aiden says, oh, I see what you're doing, to kind of get her in the mood. And little Johnny says, well, kind of. I'm going to get her the nightie, and if she doesn't like it, I'll give her the sex toy so she can go screw herself.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, yeah.
Do you want to hear a joke?
Yeah, I want to hear a joke.
One day, little Johnny walks in on his dad in the bathroom, and his dad lets out this great big fart. Little Johnny says, what was that? His dad says that my son was the north wind. Little Johnny doesn't think anything of it and goes outside. The next day at school, the teacher says, students, who can tell me the direction of the north wind? Little Johnny raises his hand and says, teach my daddy's booty.
Little Johnny had gotten a job at a fancy restaurant as a server, and he was at this one table, and the guy sitting there says, I got a question. Why do you have a spoon in your breast pocket? Little Johnny says, well, we implemented this new program that if someone were to drop their spoon, we're real quick to grab another one for them, and it saves time. The gentleman says, well, yeah, I bet you that's why you have that ketchup in your apron. Little Johnny says, exactly. The guy says, well, I have one more question. He says, why do you have a string coming out the fly of your pants? Little Johnny says, well, that's another thing we implemented. It saves time when we go to the bathroom. We could just pull on our string and pull our penis out of our pants, and then we don't have to wash our hands, and we can come right out of the bathroom. The guy says, that's great for pulling it out, but how do you put it back in? Little Johnny says, I don't know about the other guys, but I just use my spoon. Little Johnny's sitting at the kitchen table, and he's doing his math homework. He says, 2 plus 3, the son of a bitch is 5. 4 plus 4, and the son of a bitch is 8. His mom comes over and says, little Johnny, where'd you learn to talk like that? He says, my teacher. That's how he taught us how to do these. She says, oh, no. Tomorrow, I'm going to go and talk to him. Little Johnny says, okay. And next day, little Johnny's mom goes to the math teacher, and she says, now this is how my son was doing his math homework. 2 plus 3, and the son of a bitch is 5. Now, where did he learn how to do that? The math teacher just laughs, and he says, ma'am, 2 plus 3, and the sum of which is 5. Fred and Karen got married, and Fred and Karen don't have a lot of money, so they stayed over at Fred's parents' house the night after their wedding. Well, Fred's little brother happens to be little Johnny. He came down for breakfast one day. He says, hey, Mom, Fred and Karen come down yet? She says, no, they haven't. He says, you want to know what I think? She says, no, nobody wants to know what you think. Now go off to school. Oh, Johnny goes off to school, comes back for lunch, and he says, Mom, has Fred and Karen come down yet? She says, no, they haven't. He says, hey, Ma, you want to know what I think? She says, no, I don't want to know what you think. Eat your lunch and get back to school. Well, Johnny eats his lunch and goes back to school, comes back home, and he says, Mom, have Fred and Karen come back down yet? She says, no, they haven't come down yet. He says, do you want to know what I think? She says, fine, yes, what do you think? He says, well, last night Fred came into my room looking for some Vaseline, and I think I may have given him some super glue. Hey, John, want to hear a joke?
Yep.
Little Johnny's teacher wanted to broaden the sensory horizons of the children, so she gave them all lifesavers of a different flavor and wanted them to identify the flavor. Well, they were very good with the cherry and the lime and strawberry, but they really couldn't get the honey flavor. They were all stumped and trying to figure out, calling off different flavors. And the teacher says, well, I'll give you a hint. It's something that your mommy might call your daddy. Little Johnny screams, spit 'em out! Spit 'em out! They're assholes! Hey, John, want to hear a joke?
Yeah, I do.
Little Johnny was a bull rider, and he got into an accident where he kind of stuck himself in the pecker, and he couldn't achieve an erection anymore. So he went to the doctor. He says, Doc, you got to help me out. He says, well, we got this new thing where we sew a baby elephant trunk to your penis, and it has the same sensation, and you will always be able to get rock hard. Little Johnny says, I'll try anything. Doctor says, okay, well, the only problem is you can't have sex for 8 weeks. He says, that doesn't matter to me. He says, bring it on. So they do the operation. 8 weeks go by. Little Susie's all excited, invites him over to her parents' house for dinner, and she can't keep her hands off of him below the table. Well, this excites the baby elephant trunk. It reaches up above the table, grabs a baked potato, and brings it back down. Her dad looks over and says, what happened? He says, I don't know. He says, well, can you do it again? He says, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do it again, but there's not enough room in my ass for another baked potato.